How the tables have turned. Gonna just finish up on the previous text. Not much to do. I should have to find it. Okay, found it. What the? Oh my god, I skipped over so much. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I skipped to way too much. Okay. Assessing decoding. Okay. Teachers have a good intuition about children's decoding skills, but sometimes it's hard to explain why students are at that level or what to do about it. It is one thing to diagnose a problem, another to resolve it. Assessment helps teachers understand where the children are at in their decoding skills. Using formal or informal measures is like bringing in an outside expert to see what is happening. It is more objective. It gives insight as to what action to take. Intuitions are valuable. Yeah, of course. There are many times when the teacher has to act intuitively to make quick decisions. On the other hand, backing up intuition with objective data is important. Sometimes students seem to be doing fine, but they unwittingly mask their difficulties. And we do not see that they are struggling to learn. It is not clear why they do this. Perhaps they want to please the teacher and not seem dumb, yet they are in fact way behind their classmates. The teachers think that they are progressing, but they are not. Informal observations in the classroom can give insights as to where they are struggling and why. Only by assessing children progress can the teacher gain a more complete picture as to the why and the what of their decoding journey. So, this is where we left off. The chapter will cover the following topics: standardized assessments. Give me a second. Wait a minute. Never mind. Informal assessment, alphabetic language, informal assessment, phonemic awareness, informal assessment, basic decoding skills. Lastly, a case study assessment example. 2.2 Standardized assessment. There are a number of standardized measures of real and non word reading available on the internet from publishers. A stumbling block for teachers is that very often the published measures are not accessible in the classroom because specialists training in assessment is required for purchase. So, do we assess decoding skills? In order to assess non word decoding skills, this chapter includes an informal measure of decoding skills, the Alien Word Test, Table 2.3. In addition, however, the teacher should use standardized tests of the word reading. They are normed on a wider population and they do indirectly have diagnostic value, in that unless children have some good decoding skills, they will not be able to read the list of graded words in the test. Standardized tests give an indication of how a child decodes words compared with other children of the same age. It is important for the teacher to know whether their students are able to decode words as well as their peers. We have used two word reading measures that do not require the teacher to have specialized training. Um, the Sholnon word reading test gives a word reading age, where here is, well, they provide the internet link. Hope it's not a virus. Um, okay. This is pretty cool. hmm The bird reading test and also not require specialist training and gives a word reading age. So informal assessment. Assessment 1. Alphabetic knowledge. Children cannot begin decoding words properly unless they can quickly and accurately identify 26 letter sounds of the alphabet. Assessing their alphabetic knowledge involves checking ability to identify all the names and sounds of the 26 letters of the alphabet. Some children, when they start school, will know all or most of the letters of the alphabet. Uh, Names and sounds of the alphabet, but many know only some of the letter sounds, and some may not know any sounds at all. Even older children can vary in speed and accuracy of their alphabetic knowledge. It is helpful to check Table 2.1 is a copy of a test that the teacher can use. The test has 26 uppercase and 26 lowercase letters, all in random order. Ask the student to say the name of the letters, then ask them to say the sounds of the letters. Note for teachers, score with blue pen for sounds, red pen for names. Um, Score out of 26 for uppercase and lowercase names and sounds. If an error, write it down. So say that, oh, it's in random order. Okay. It is an assessment 2. Phonemic awareness. It is important to assess phonemic awareness. Some children have difficulty with learning to decode words because they lack phonemic awareness. The teacher needs to identify children who need some help to build their awareness. Phonemic awareness is the ability to construct spoken words into their components. Example, they can segment up into sounds UP, but some will lack this awareness. One school beginner we tested said that the two sounds in up were up and down. An informal measure we use extensively is the GKR, phonemic awareness test, where there's like 6 sub-tests in the GKR, each with 7 items. An average benchmark score to aim for would be a score of 30 out of 42 at the end of the first year of school and 36 out of 42 at the end of the second year of school. If children in the class score significantly below 30, the teacher should consider adding phonemic awareness activities to their lessons. Table 2.2 showed that 6 subsets, subtest of the full versions of the GKR phonemic awareness and test and the GKR assessments, a range of phonemic skills, blending, segmenting, deletion, and substitution. It has good reliability. The teachers read the test items aloud and score the responses. The student does not see the test. Critical subtests to check for beginner reading are subtests 1 blending and subset 4 segmenting. These basics are essential to starting points. Example of the items in each subset are below. So blending, the first item is nice. The teacher says to the child, example, say not nice. What word is n, I, s, eh? The teacher has to stretch the phonemes and avoid giving a chow, chow. Do not say n, I, s, she. Try to stretch the words like a rubber band. Say slowly. N, I, s, n, I. S. Yeah, I think I got it right. I don't know. Table 2.2 GRK Phonemic Awareness Test Teacher Copy. A note for the teacher, keep in mind that this is not for the student to read. You have to read out the question to them, give them the practice item first in each subtest. Explain the practice item if the child seems confused. Be sure to encourage the students after each item. That's okay. Okay, let's try again. Another one. The answer to each item are in the parentheses in test form below, but do not tell the child any of the answers. They are just for you for scoring total of 42 items. Approximate benchmarks in terms of expected scores at the end of the first year of school would be like 30 out of 42 correct, and at the end of the second year of school 36 out of 42. So first is going to be blending. Practice say sun. What word is answer sun. Practice saying I, k. But I think I meant is. I don't know. Of course that was gonna be nice. Next one's gonna be t, t. Ooh. Two. Next one's gonna be eh. Wait. Eh. He. So that's gonna be he. Next one's gonna be ah. K, 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 k. So that's gonna be rake. Next one's gonna be train. I'm just gonna say it. Next one's gonna be plane. Next gonna be funny. Next gonna be top. Next one gonna be gasp. Next one gonna be fine. Next one gonna be paint. Next one gonna be up. Next one gonna be add. Next one gonna be so. So it's gonna be deletion. So I get it. So a second one's gonna be deletion for the first phoneme. So they're trying to identify the first phoneme. That's it. The other one's just them identify that they're hearing words being put together. What's the world waiting? Dude, what am I looking at? Table 2.2, continuing deletion. Practice saying sun. Say sun without the N. Su. 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 Same. Me. 8. Go. Frog. Gap. So this is the deletion of the last phonemes. Okay, I understand. Practice saying sun. What are the three phonemes in sun? Substitution of the first phoneme. So practice saying sun now. Instead of at the start, the new word with F, fun. So this is going to just be substitution. Next is going to be a substitution of final phonemes. Practice saying sun. Now instead of N, end the new word with P, sup. Sup, Brody. Okay, I don't know. Holy macaroni, is this? Oh my lordy Jesus, broski, dang. This is actually pretty. This is really good information. It's just a lot to digest. This is a lot to digest. Okay. Really good information. I'll switch to something else to breeze it off a bit. Because I should really just show you what I'm looking at. Because it is really, really getting into that stage where it's like I'm just seeing symbols. It's right here. Like I don't really like it's it's nothing. It looks pretty challenging, but I know it's not challenging at all. It's just surface level stuff. You just say the child, say the name. Now they say same without the M, so they're gonna like go say. The student mentally has to delete last sounds of M and say what remains, which is say. Uh, Four segment the first sound. No, no, no. It's a lot. I think this is just it gets to a point where it's just personal stuff, so I can just read through this on my own time. Okay, so for the meantime, I'm just gonna. I think I don't know if I should make a graph. I should make a graph. Yeah, I should. I don't know if I should keep on going. Considering that uh, the rest of it's gonna just be really, really practical. But I mean, that's not bad. It's just gonna be more condensed in information. Uh, I don't know. It's challenging from what I see. Um, there's a lot. Um, I guess what I can do instead. This looks good. I like it personally. I just need to fix up the below part. Um, I'll fix the below part, and then with this, this is a good layout of what SVR is. But I don't know. What I'm thinking. So everything else beyond this, okay, this is just the theory. All that stuff is really good, but everything else beyond this in the books just gonna be really, really, really practical information. I just I get wait. I think I have an idea. Maybe I can plan it out like a calendar or some sort that tracks the day. So I can just make fictionary days. So it's gonna be day one. Some sort of calendar. So day one gonna be marked off. Day one represents what to do on the first day using the information shown, and maybe you can structure a lesson throughout. Maybe that way. Yeah, that so I can use the practical information as much as I can. So I'd probably need an image of an actual calendar, and in a way I can just use Krita to mark off the days. I just need to think about this a bit more smartly. Um, I can finish the phonemic parts. The other parts, this is more easy, but nonetheless, it's I think I'll develop this over here. hmm Okay, I'll disconnect the lines over here. Pull this down. So the rest of this is gonna be the last part. rest of everything literally is just gonna be really laid out of everything. Layout of everything. Probably need to find an image on Pinterest. Start funneling all this stuff. This is just vital information. Okay. Okay. Okay, time to get a calendar off of Pinterest. Pinterest. Maybe like a teacher's calendar. Skip for now. Teacher's calendar. Not getting anything that I looked up. I'm looking The mic has not been on the whole time. That's insane bad luck. Hello? It's not working with the chat bot either. Um, well, I won't give up on this one. I'll just finish off one of those other articles I have in store. What's the article? He said, okay, the right to choose parenthood. I read through most of this. The moral nature of parenthood. Okay. This has gotta be it. Okay, parent. Let's just go over to this text. And scroll down to the moral nature of parenthood. At this point, we ask how this is meant to address the analogy between abortion and infanticide. If a right to life does not entail a right to encroach on anyone's choice, or whether to undertake parenthood, and the right to choose parenthood includes the right to have an abortion to avoid undertaking parenthood, would a parent's right to choose parenthood not also include the right to commit the infanticide of their newborn if they decide they no longer wanted to be parents? If it is permissible to kill the fetus because one does not want to undertake the parenthood, then why is it permissible for a parent to commit infanticide of their newborn if they want to stop 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 being its parent? The answer lies in the moral nature of parenthood. Birth creates a new moral context, not only because a person body is no longer occupied, but also because a new relationship emerges. Lindy Porter characterizes this uh, new moral context as one in which the newborn is in various relationships with several people, including its family members. For Porter, these relationships mean that the choices concerning what to do with or the newborn would not belong solely to the person who birthed it. The other people with whom the newborn has a relationship changes the moral context, such as that choices concerning what to do with or the newborn will also depend on their input. Regarding the choice to commit infanticide of the newborn, the moral context surrounding such a choice will always be different from the moral context surrounding the choice to have an abortion. For this reason, fetuses and newborns will never be in the same moral context, and one cannot generalize from the moral status of abortion to that of infanticide. While Porter takes there to be difference in the moral context in which fetuses and newborns exist, more must be said about specifically what makes the context different, if it is so to be shown that the situation of abortion is disanalogous with the situation of a parent committing the infanticide of their newborn, such as that the former is permissible and the latter is not. Porter specifies the importance of relationships as one differentiating factor and gives the example of relationships between family members, but does not further specify how particular relationships affect moral context or how they might do so beyond including more parties in certain decision making processes. Specifically, it is the moral nature of parental relationships that most significantly differentiates pre birth and post birth moral context. Parenthood is a relationship between a parent and a born child, and one that is entangled with moral responsibility. No one can be a parent if they do not have any born children or born child. So if someone is a parent, they must have a born child. Some argue that the relationship between parents and born children is an extension of a relationship that emerged at conception, such as that pregnant people count as parents to their fetuses, which counts as their children. But this is mistaken. Pregnant people and the fetus, they carry participate they carry participant in a progenitor offspring relationship as distinct from the parent child relationship. This is because birth is when child come into the world and parental responsibilities are towards that child. To see why, consider the following argument against the view that pregnant people are parents to any fetuses they carry, and those fetuses are their children. Parents have responsibilities to take care of their children's well-being, such as that harming them seriously impairing them is wrong. If pregnant people are parents to any fetuses they carry, and those fetuses are their children, then they have parental responsibilities towards those fetuses. If they have parental responsibilities towards any fetuses they 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 carry, then it would be wrong for a pregnant person to harm any fetus they carry by seriously impairing them. Consider the responsibility to refrain from consuming alcohol during pregnancy. We might think that it's wrong to consume alcohol during pregnancy because doing so causes serious impairments to the fetus by giving it fetal alcohol syndrome, but such harm to the fetus is not what makes giving a fetus fetal alcohol syndrome wrong. Instead, it is wrong because it will cause detrimental harm to the future born child. But if there is no harm to a future born child, then giving a fetus fetal alcohol syndrome is not what's wrong, because it is the harm to a fetus, a future born child, that is constitutes its wrongness. Imagine a scenario where a fetus is, for some reason, unviable and will die before it reaches term. This means that there is no future born child. Suppose the pregnant person consumes enough alcohol during the pregnancy to give that fetus alcohol syndrome. In this case, the pregnant person has not done something wrong because they do not have anything that causes harm to a future born child, as there will never be any future born child to suffer harms. So it would not be wrong for a pregnant person to consume enough alcohol during a pregnancy in which they carry an unviable fetus that will die before it reaches term to give that fetus fetal alcohol syndrome, because while doing so seriously impairs the fetus, it does not harm a future born child. If a pregnant person is a parent to any fetus they carry, then in cases of pregnancy where the fetus is unviable and will die before it reaches term, the pregnant person um, is the parent of that unviable fetus they carry. If pregnant people are parents to unviable fetuses they carry, then they have parental responsibilities to take care of that fetus's well-being, such as that they are doing something wrong if they seriously impair them. Given an unviable fetus fetal alcohol syndrome seriously impairs a fetus. If a pregnant person has a parental responsibilities to any unviable fetus they carry, then it is wrong for them to harm any unviable fetus they care about. Is case because in the case of unviable fetus, there is no future born child to suffer the harms. The criterion for wrongness cannot be met, and so it is not wrong for a parent So a pregnant person to give an unviable fetus, they carry fetal alcohol syndrome. If it is not, then pregnant people do not have a parental responsibility to any unviable fetus they carry. If pregnant if pregnant people do not have parental responsibility to any unviable fetuses they carry, then they are not parents to any unviable fetuses they carry. If the relationship between parents and born children is an extension of a relationship that emerges at conception, then the relationship pregnant people have with any unviable fetus they carry is parenthood. But pregnant people are not parents to any unviable fetuses they carry. Therefore, the responsibility. Sorry, oh my God. Relationship pregnant people have with their fetuses is not parenthood, meaning it's not the case that the relationship between parent and born children is an extension of a relationship that emerges at conception. Still, some pregnant people think of themselves as parents and the fetuses they carry as their children and refer to the fetus as unborn children. From their perspective, they become parents when they conceive and take fetuses to be continuous in identity with born children, and so take their relationship with any fetus they carry to be parenthood. While people may have tremendous emotional attachment um, into their relationship with fetuses they carry, it does not follow that this relationship is parenthood. This is simply because no one can be a parent if they do not have children, and no one can be the parent to a child that does not exist. In a case of a pregnant person who does not have any born children, they are only a potential or prospect parent rather than an actual one. This is because fetuses are only potential children and not actual ones because they need to go through the gestation process and be born. For example, a plant seed is not seeding, though it may be in the process of becoming a seedling. As it goes through the process of germination, tomato seeds are not unplanted tomatoes, they are seeds with the potential to grow into tomatoes. Just as the seeds must complete a process of growth and development for the tomatoes to be fruits, fetuses must also complete a process of growth and development for the children to be born. Fetuses must have potential to become children but not children and are not unborn children. If, however, we think that fetuses are unborn children, continuous in identity with the born children, then we should think that tomato seeds are tomatoes. But tomato seeds are not tomatoes, so fetuses are not unborn children, continuous in identity with born children. Um, Further, one is not the owner of a tomato plant and is not in owner plant relationship with a tomato plant simply because they have planted the seeds. At the time of planting the seed, while it's still growing, one is only the potential owner of a tomato plant. Similarly, a pregnant person is not a parent in virtue of being pregnant, for their child has to yet to be born. If we think that pregnant people are parents to any fetuses they carry, thus birth is morally significant transition point because parenthood is relationship parents have with their born children, not a relationship with pregnant people have with unborn fetuses they carry, not in a relationship. It is born children, not fetuses, at which moral concern is ultimately directed towards when it comes to taking care of pregnancy. Any responsibility there may be regarded. Oh, it's like 3 o'clock. Okay. Because there is yet a born child. The relationship between the pregnant person and the fetus they carry is not a relationship between a parent and a child, and any responsibilities a pregnant person have regarding taking care of their pregnancy will not be parental responsibilities. The time of the child's birth is the earliest anyone can be a parent, and thus earliest they have parental responsibility towards them. As Andrew McGee says, birth marks the moment our offspring comes into the world. The special moment of childbirth and joy of holding your son or daughter for the very first time are monumental events in human life. It is at this point that so much of our responsibility towards them, our very life with them, truly begins. While some cases of parenthood may begin much after the child is born, such as in cases of adoption, the time of birth is the earliest point from which parenthood and parental responsibility can begin. So it's not an extension of relationships that emerge at the prior point, such as conception. Similarly, for cases of planned adoption, prospect adoptive parents are not parents prior to the birth of the child. They will adopt prior to the child's birth. They are only prospective parents rather than actual ones. Even when all the relevant legal work is done beforehand, the child still needs to be born for an actual relationship between it and its adoptive parents to become a reality. If any responsibilities a pregnant person may have to take care of in their pregnancy are not parental responsibilities, because the relationship between parents per oh my god, very tired. Fell asleep for a moment. Um okay. If a person aims in going through pregnancy is to become a parent, then they would have the responsibility to take care of their pregnancy, as doing so best serves their end. Surrogates are what, if any responsibility a pregnant person may have to take care of their pregnancy are not parental responsibilities, because the relationship between the parent, person, and any fetus they carry is not parenthood. They then what sort of responsibility are they? These responsibilities will be hypothetical imperatives dependent upon some end requiring the pregnancy to be taken care of. If a person aiming going through a pregnancy is to become a parent, then they would have the responsibilities to take care of their pregnancy. Doing so best serves their end. Surrogates are another example. A surrogate is responsible for taking care of their pregnancy, because doing so is required to achieve the goal of allowing the party they are surrogate for to become parents. But if there is no end that requires the pregnancy to be taken care of, and a pregnant person would not have any responsibility to the care of their pregnancy, including any responsibility not to terminate it. Because being a parent entails having specific moral responsibilities concerning the raising of one's child. Parenthood is something that is placed. I'm going to stop this for now. Then I'm going to just go fall asleep. I'm extremely tired.